Welcome everyone, Michael Ferrara from Club DSPORT, and thanks to Turn14, we've got some Aeromotive products we'd like to talk about with you right now. Aeromotive Fuel Systems has been in the industry for quite some time, and what we'd like to go over is any fuel questions you may have. Please hit us up with those while we're doing this live stream, but in the meanwhile, let me show some of the new products that they have out from Aeromotive. So right here, we have new Billet fuel rail kit for the EJ engines. This will fit up to the 2014 WRX and STI, and those feature a -8 inlet and outlet, bolts to the factory mounting location, and it's a great way to kind of not only dress up the underside there of those fuel line, of the fuel rails, the factory fuel rails. It actually supports a lot more horsepower, and when you're going to E85, you're going to have a lot more fuel volume in there, so it's always a good idea to upgrade these while you're in there. Now, let's move on to the pumps, because that's really what Aeromotive's known for. Now, what we see here is something we've kind of seen before. Is a popular format for Aeromotive is having the A1000 pump. That part number's been around for a while, and being set up as an external pump, it has both a -10 inlet and a -10 outlet. And the thing that's different about this Aeromotive A1000 is the fact that now it's brushless. So what does that mean? Well, brushless technology is a different type of motor technology that's way more efficient and way more reliable than your standard brushed motors. There's basically nothing inside to wear out. So it's really a good way to go. As far as from a performance standpoint, what do you get out of it? Well, generally with the brushless motor, you're going to get some additional performance out of it, and you're going to get, which could be most important in some cases, a lot less amperage draw. You no longer have to have 40 amps and 50 amp relays and fuses going to your fuel pump, because with the brushless motor, it cuts down on that dramatically of how much current it's actually pulling. Now, in addition to this, this is just one of them. This is the simple one, and I'll show you here. This is just a 2-wire hookup. So this A1000 is a great retrofit type pump. If you're running an old A1000 or another external pump that's kind of this format, this is a great upgrade for you. But this is just a single speed brushless. Now, one advantage of going brushless is with the right controller, you can actually have multiple speed, variable speed on it, true variable speed. And right now they also offer, which we don't have here to show you, but they basically have a full line of true variable speed pumps, and these are some super high flowing pumps. I mean, if you look down here at some of these numbers, 20 gallons per hour, which supports on E85 fuel injection about 3,500 horsepower from a single pump. That's the big 10.0. So they make them all the way from a 3.5, a 5.0, a 7.5, and a 10.0. That's how many gallons per minute. So just think about that. The 10.0, you could fill up two 5-gallon buckets in 1 minute of fuel. It moves a lot of fuel. So another option for you too is if you're out there and you have an application that has a saddle tank. I've got a R33 GTR, and half of the tank's on this side and the other half's on the other side. And the factory uses a jet siphon method to help pull some of that fuel from one side to the other. And depending on your vehicle and what you have available to you, sometimes you can use the factory one and just upgrade the pump, and other times upgrading the pump and stuff kind of eliminates that. Well, Aeromotive wanted to bring that back because that is a very important feature, to have that jet valve assist, to bring basically the volume of fuel you have put in the tank that doesn't get to where the bowl is, where the pump is sucking. So this is a good way to get there and to do it. And this is their kit right here, and I'll show you basically what it consists of. So there's a foam element here, and this can be adjusted and cut down based on the height of the tank. But essentially, this is kind of where your sump is, where you want to pull your fuel from using this. And the pump, they have both I believe a 340 and a 450 liter per hour option. That's going to sit down in here, and that's going to always have a nice constant supply of fuel. And this little hose here is going to be bringing over the fuel from whatever part of the tank on your saddle that you need the fuel brought to. And it doesn't connect here. It's actually going to be connected to this piece here that's going to let it draw in. As this pump here, as pushing fuel up here, it's creating a vacuum and sucking fuel from the other side of the tank and putting it down here in the sump. And so it's a pretty cool way to maximize the efficiency of your tank and get as much fuel out of the tank and into your engine. So if you're doing some type of racing where there's pit stops or anything like that, or you just want to be able to go a further range on the vehicle while still going wide open throttle, not have a situation where you're road racing the car and you know you always have to have 3/4 of a tank in it, this is a fix for that. So this is one way to fix it, a pretty ingenious way. This is cool because it's actually a magnet. So if you've got a steel tank, this can be placed in a location where, bang, it just attaches right to the steel. Let me grab a piece of steel here and show you. There you go. And it grips there, and it'll be pulling fuel from that area without any issues whatsoever. So just like that. All right. So do we have any questions about any of the Aeromotive lineup here today? I guess we answered it pretty well. Remember, all this Aeromotive line and more is available through Turn14 if you're one of the tuning shops out there. A great place to get this product. And to tell you a little bit more, just in case I missed anything on this, we're going to roll a video now from Aeromotive that shows you some more about this special system here.
Aeromotive understands that their customers don't sit still, and that's why they don't sit still while developing new products. This is the Phantom Apex, and it's the latest development in the Phantom product line. We can have a quick demonstration here to see how it works, and then we can explain the technology. Using a jet siphon system, this product can actually pull fuel from the furthest corners of your tank. This is a big deal if you have a late model car with a saddle tank. You can actually drop the associated tube over the other side of the saddle tank to make sure you're pulling from the bottom and the farthest point away. Also, if you have a metal tank, there's an associated magnet that will take the pickup and seal it to the bottom of the tank at the perfect depth. Now, as we watch this demonstration, what you're seeing here is the fuel being pulled up through the jet siphon technology up into the Phantom pump. Now, there's baffles here at the bottom of the Phantom basket, basically, where the foam is, that allow the fuel to stay inside the foam and not run back into the tank. What this means is that the pump will always have a fuel supply no matter how low it gets in the tank or how far away the fuel is trying to rush from the pump. The great thing about this jet siphon technology is that it's self-flooding. What does that mean? It means that even if the siphon sees a little bit of air, the siphon action won't be broken and fuel will be very quickly soon there to follow. So a great modular addition to the Phantom Apex in a separate part number are these check valves. These are PTFE ball check valves, so it's very tough. They're not going to be affected by different fuel types, and they allow fuel to travel in around the foam surrounding the pump, but they don't let it escape. Along with high G-load road racing applications, this is a brilliant solution for those of you that are into four-wheel drives, rock crawling, any of that kind of stuff, rock bouncing. The reality is sometimes your rig is going to be sitting at a high angle for many minutes at a time. If you're stuck trying to pull the winch cable out, what do you need? You need the fuel to stay in the bladder, so when you go to start your vehicle, there's plenty of fuel there to run. Available in a 340 and a 450 liter per hour application. We're talking about close to 600 horsepower naturally aspirated for the 340 and well over 900 horsepower for the 450. That means you can feed even the toughest of street cars, very serious street strip machines, but most importantly, your road racing and autocross cars that are going to have a lot of fuel slosh in the tank. With the Phantom jet siphon technology, the pump's never going to run dry, and with those check valves in there, neither is the basket. Check the Aeromotive Inc. website to find out.